Alright, next question. When a dented table tennis ball is placed in a beaker of hot water as shown in the diagram below, it becomes round again. So here we have a dented table tennis ball. In case you do not know what a table tennis ball is, it's a ball that is made of plastic. It's waterproof because it's plastic, and usually there's no air, no hole to allow the inside air to come out and the outside air to come in. It's just a round ball with air inside, and sometimes it can get dented. Right? All right. So before we answer this question again, let's revise. We know that this question has got something to do with heat because there's hot water here. All right. And so let's revise. We know that heat is a form of energy that make things hot. Things that give out heat are known as the sources of heat. So it's always good to identify the source of heat. It's good to identify the source of heat because only after identifying the source of heat can we determine or can we make sure we know how the heat flows. Remember that the heat always flows from a hotter to a colder place. So usually the heat comes from the heat source and it flows to uh, things that are colder than the heat source, right? We also know that heat makes matter expand. So that's why we have the alcohol thermometer. Remember when we did the experiment in P4, if you were in my class, we would have done using the laboratory thermometer. We saw that the alcohol inside the laboratory thermometer expanded when we put it in hot liquids. All right. That particular experiment used hot water, and if we put it in cold water, the alcohol inside the thermometer decreased, and sorry, not decreased, contracted. It became smaller. All right. Likewise, it's not just liquids that act like that, but all matter. So hot air will also expand, hot gases will also expand. All right. Likewise, you know when gases, liquids, and solid are cooled, it contracts. So we need to know all this before we answer the question. If you are still not sure of these, I suggest you look through your activity book for your P4, that particular experiment that we did. Or you can just replay this video from the start and make sure that everything that appears on your screen and everything that I said you should already know. And if you don't, then you need to understand. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's look at the question again. So we have a dented ball, plastic, everything is plastic, but it's filled with air, but it's dented, all right? And if you have played table tennis before, you know that it's quite difficult to to make the table tennis round again, because when you press one end, it tends to get more and more dented. So what is shown in this experiment is that when the dented table tennis ball is placed in hot water, it became whole again. It became rounded again. So then we have our source of heat, the hot water. Before the dented table tennis ball is placed inside the hot water, the air inside the table tennis ball is at room temperature. Alright, of course, heat flows from the hot water into the table tennis ball, and it heats up as the heat travels into the colder air in the table tennis ball. The heat flows from area of hotter region in this particular example from the hot water because it's hotter than the colder air. So heat travels from the hotter water into the colder air inside the table tennis ball. And what happens is the air inside the table tennis ball expanded, okay, because heat makes things expand. And we know that air can really expand. And when it expands, it actually pushes up the dent, okay, making the whole plastic round again. So that's what happens. Again, if you didn't catch that the first time I said it, I'm going to say it again. what happens is that the hot water heats up the air inside the table tennis ball, and heat makes the air inside the table tennis ball expand. When the hot air expands in the table tennis ball, it pushes up the plastic. Okay, that expansion creates a force, and it pushes up the plastic, making it as a round object again. So let's look at the question. Which of the following statement correctly explains why the ball becomes round again? Now let's look at number one. Hot water enters the ball. We know that the ball is made of plastic that is waterproof, so hot water cannot enter it. Likewise, table tennis ball do not normally allow the air inside it to escape, and therefore the air is actually sealed inside the table tennis ball, so no air can escape, neither can the hot air uh, uh, neither can the outside air enter the table tennis ball. So option 2 says hot air enters the ball and fills the ball. This is not correct. Number 3, the air in the table in the ball expands when heated. We know that air is matter because it has mass and it occupies space. And air is because it's matter, when it's heated up, it will expand. Option 4, the hot water near the ball expands when heated. Now, the hot water already hot, so it has already slightly expanded, and we know that the expansion of the hot water will not affect the table tennis ball because water has no fixed shape, therefore it can go around the ball instead of pushing the ball in whichever direction. Okay, so that's actually how you solve this problem. If you didn't understand what I've said, you might want to replay the video again so that you can derive at the answer on your own. Okay, thank you.